And then, of course, Our Cosmic Origin, which is my groundbreaking book that took disclosure by storm by filling in the gaps and bringing forth the next stage or the next level of disclosure. Now, with no further ado, I think I'm going to get right into it. Now, I do want to make a quick announcement for those that are going to be attending the Alien event on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of April. I will be there in the flesh. My presentation, I believe, is on Saturday from 4:30 to 5:30, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to have to check that again, but I believe my presentation is on Saturday. So for those that are attending the Alien event, I can't wait to meet you in person. And yes, I will be speaking on the Secret Space Program panel, as well as the Transhumanist AI panel, which I am totally against, right? I am against transhumanism. I am against artificial intelligence due to my cosmic clearance and my ability to access the cosmic records. I have an in-depth understanding as to why AI is always wrong. But anyways, all right, let's get right into the geopolitical scenario. So, first of all, there was an attempt by 3 ex-CIA agents, an attempt to actually... believe it or not, they were trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? They were trying to do away with Mr. T, all right? They were going to, or not arrest him, what's the word that I'm looking for? They were going to adult nap Mr. T, but the White Hats were on it, and they were able to block those 3 ex-CIA agents, who were, by the way, fired, that were attempting to of course, take Mr. T and put him somewhere else, but that didn't happen, okay? In addition to that, 1.7 trillion has been wiped out from the U.S. stock market yesterday, okay? This happened yesterday. This is recent news. The U.S. State Department has canceled about 83% of all USAID programs at this time, okay? So, yes, those 3, going back to... First thing I mentioned is those 3 ex-CIA agents are now under arrest and have been taken to Gitmo for their attempt to, of course, take Mr. T somewhere as a hostage, okay? But it didn't happen, okay? Donald Trump's advisor, Alina Habba, provides a bombshell update on the, let's just call it the island client list, okay? Revealing that individuals are now under review for their criminal persecution. She says that the process is being handled legally to ensure justice. And with massive amounts of documents under review, they're still under review, right? They're coming, guys, they're coming, right? It's going to be an open disclosure. With massive amounts of documents under review, Habba also confirms that the FBI and the State District Court of New York were actively covering up for the island clients, okay? President Trump has secured a ceasefire against Ukraine in an effort to stop World War III from taking place. And now, of course, they're just waiting for Russia's approval to permanently end the war. And like I mentioned months ago, I've been talking about this. Mr. T is going to win a Nobel Peace Prize for preventing the Third World War and ending all other conflicts across the world. So that's something that I've been talking about, and I believe that sometime this year he will be recognized as a peacemaker. Okay, he will be bringing peace to the entire world. All right. Ukrainian President Zelensky apologizes to U.S. President Trump for showing disrespect during the White House visit. Well, that is very, very true, okay? And the reason why he apologized is because Zelensky is going to be removed and the entire Ukraine corrupt government will be abolished by the global international White Hat network, okay? So right now, it seems like Zelensky is trying to kiss some butt, okay? Because he knows that they're about to remove him, in other words. In addition to that, we do have a new prime minister who is worse than Trudeau in Canada, for those that live in Canada. I am so sorry that this happened, but he is only there temporary, all right? When the GESERA implementation programs kick in, all deep state players worldwide including Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, will be removed. Okay, so recently, in the last couple days, Mark Carney declared that his government will maintain their tariffs until the Americans show us respect. So apparently they're trying to start some sort of tariff war between the Canadian government, the US of A, the Mexican government, and of course, China. Okay, so Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has stated that Donald Trump must not be allowed to succeed. Well, it's all right. Why? Of course he's going to say something like that. This guy's a deep stater, okay? In addition to that, moving on to the new director of the FBI, Kash Patel, who is a white hat, has reportedly requested a direct, the FBI new director, Kash Patel, has reportedly requested a direct, secure line from both his home and FBI office to the Oval Office, circumventing Attorney General Pam Bondi and the usual chain of command. In addition to that, circling around the cyber attacks on X, which has been happening in the last few days, as you guys know, there was also massive protesting going on at Tesla sites throughout the country, and many believe that these were organizations that were funded by Antifa and, of course, other far democratic lefties. Nationwide anti-Elon Musk protests did break out at Tesla stores. All right, this is happening in the last, 2-3 days? Varying from mostly peaceful demonstrations to incidents of arson and vandalism, resulting in a dozen of arrests. Now, there was one person who was caught on camera that kind of just spilled the beans and said, hey, I was paid to do this, okay? So apparently, these protests that are happening at the Tesla stores are being organized by, I would say, Antifa in connections to the deep state, the globalists, let's just call it that. So a fresh wave of cyber attacks has been launched against X in the last few days overall, okay? Moving forward, sticking to the topic, there is a report that Ed Krasenstein, one of the far left extremists, Krasenstein's brothers, claims to be in contact with the group behind the X takedown, okay, stating that it was merely a demonstration of their strength. Hacking group Dark Storm Team has reportedly claimed responsibility for a DDoS attack on X. The hacking group Dark Storm Team has claimed responsibility for the major DDoS attack on X. Deep State, I guess that's abbreviation for Deep State. They are known for cyber warfare attacks and successfully hacking high security systems. The group has vowed to unleash a wave of cyber attacks on the government's website of NATO countries, Israel, and nations supporting Israel. Well, that's interesting. I've always believed that the forces backing Israel were also globalists, right? Since they are owned by the Rothschilds. Furthermore, in the last few days, I don't know, I think it was 3 days ago, Monday night, 2 days ago, an InfoWars reporter, Jamie White, was brutally... What's going on with my live here? Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys give me 1 second? Hold on. I hope everything's okay. Am I broadcasting? Can you guys hear me? All right. Apparently there is a troll by the name of Jason B in the house. I better block him before I continue because he's spamming AI stuff. I really want to get to the report, guys. There's so much information I want to share. I really don't have time for trolls. Jason B, if you're on here, all right, there's Jason B. All right, this guy is apparently an AI infiltrator. He is working with the AI god Omega. So I will remove him now, and I will also block Jason B. Apparently, there is no room for AI infiltrators on my live. hide user from channel. There we go. Now he's completely blocked. Okay, Jason B is gone. Apparently he is working for the AI god. So let's go back to the report. Okay, so as I was saying, so the hacking group Darkstorm has claimed responsibility for the major DDoS attacks on X. They are known for cyber warfare attacks and successfully hacking high security systems. The group has vowed to unleash a wave of cyber attacks on governments' websites. Okay, again, going back to the InfoWars reporter. This is a different subject. Okay, 2 days ago, one of the main reporters working for Alex Jones by the name of Jamie White was brutally murdered outside of his home in Austin, Texas, with no suspects identified. All right, go figured. In addition to that, Tulsi Gabbard, following Trump's directive, has revoked the security clearances and restricted access to classified information for Anthony Binkin, Jake Sullivan, Lisa Monaco, Mark Said. I'm throwing some people under the bus here, guys, and in a while I'm going to reveal an even bigger list that were individuals that were actually caught, or you could say were documented to be part of this corruption. So let me rephrase that again. The following Trump's directive has revoked the security clearance and restricted access to classified information for Anthony Blinken, Jake Sullivan, Lisa Monaco, Mark Said, Norman Eisen, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, Andrew Wiseman, and the 51 signers of the Hunter Brandon disinformation letter. All right. Well, continuing forward, Donald Trump's advisor, Alina Habba, provides a bombshell updates on Epstein's on the Lions client list. I gotta remember that I am on Flufftooth. Okay. So, update on the Island's client list, revealing that individuals are now under review for criminal prosecution. She says that the process is being handled legally to ensure justice, with massive amounts of documents under review. Habba also confirms that the FBI and the State District Court of New York were actively covering up for the Island client list. Okay. Furthermore, Representative Anna Paulina Luna was asked by a reporter about the status of the Island files. She said she has been pressing the DOJ and the FBI for updates, but was told that the documents are still under review. Okay, that's why they haven't released them yet, because they're still under review. So Luna added that if Attorney General Pam Bondi takes actions and files charges, she could go down as one of the best, okay? However, if she doesn't, Luna simply states, it is what it is. Okay. Moving forward, guys, okay? So this is a report from the White Hats, okay? A secretive Space Force ship has returned to Earth after spending 434 days in orbit conducting mysterious tests. Now, for the record, Space Force, which is the 5th branch of military that under Donald Trump was established during his first presidency, is it is the organization that is going to act as the best way to put it is this: Space Force is going to be the organization that is going to bring forth all of the classified high-level technology that the positive program, the Secret Space Force positive program, SSP, known as Solar Warden, has been using for over 85 years. So Space Force is its outlet, okay? Space Force and Solar Warden are one and the same, okay? Space Force is going to be used by the White Hat military to bring out all of these advanced, exotic, alien technologies, okay? But let's continue here. Something happened on the 12th of March, 2025, just recently. When was that? today is the 12th of March. I forgot to mention, guys. For those that didn't know, welcome to my Wednesday Night Live. It is March 12, 2025. So today, President Trump already reinstated in power after exposing the fraudulent 2020 ELECTION, okay, authorizing the most aggressive security operation in modern U.S. history, a mass revocation of security clearances targeting the core operatives of the deep state machine. The names stripped of clearance aren't random. They are the very architects of the silent coup against this country. They are the puppeteers of the media manipulation, the handlers of intelligent distortion, and the enforcers of legal prosecution. And now they've been officially marked as threats to national security today. Okay? So there is hope for the Branson case to come out to the open now. Okay? Brandon, right? Go Brandon, the illegitimate figurehead of the stolen, you know what happened, 2020 operation, is now being banned from receiving any form of classified intelligence, including the president's daily brief. It's not just an insult, it's an official designation, enemy of the republic. Okay, he's been an enemy of the republic, right? But this is far bigger than just Brandon. As most of you know, Brandon was just a puppet, just like Trudeau and the other guy that took over Trudeau. This is a dismantling of the entire shadow network, okay? A full spectrum purge of those who rigged ELECTION, trafficked classified information, sabotage foreign policy, protected blackmail networks, and weaponized every federal institution to try to destroy Mr. T and keep the people in chains, okay? So this is the list of the traitors. Are you guys ready for this? All right, you guys are going to get first dibs, right, before the general public gets it. The list of the traitors, the inner circle of the regime is, okay, and this was discovered also by Mr. T's handpicked Tulsi Gabbard, right, to oversee this historic operation, which has executed her mission. Who is executing? She is executing her mission without hesitation. She's doing well. The following names have been neutralized, removed from the intelligence grid, and cut off from any further manipulation. The first one is Antony Blinken, okay? Antony Blinken was Brandon's former Secretary of State and architect of the 2020 disinformation cover-up. His fingerprints are all over the Hunter, let's just call it the laptop of hell, censorship operation, okay? A foreign psyop disguised as domestic intel analysis. Next is Jake Sullivan, who was a former national security advisor, deeply involved in backdoor coordination with NATO, globalist, Ukrainian biolab network, right? And that's the reason why Putin's been there for the last 5 years. He's for many reasons, but one of the things why Russia needed to go into Ukraine was to eliminate those labs, okay, that were in the underground. Not to mention, Mr. P did rescue millions of children that were also there, okay? Going back, former national security advisor, deeply involved in backdoor coordination with NATO, globalist Ukrainian bio-LAB networks, and sabotage operations against domestic energy independence. After him, Letitia James, who was the New York's legal assassin. I can't even speak. Where's my water? Telekinesis, water, come to me. Telekinesis, water, come to me. Darn it, my telekinesis is not working right now. Okay. Letitia James, who was New York's legal assassin, used by the regime to fabricate financial fraud charges against Trump. She is now barred from all federal facilities. After her comes Alvin Bragg. The Soros-planted Manhattan DA, notorious for prosecuting Trump in a rigged hush money case while ignoring violent crime in his own district. After him comes Andrew Wiseman, the shadow prosecutor behind the Russian hoax, an unaccountable operator who coordinated with foreign intelligence to frame Trump with fabricated FISA warrants and leaked propaganda. After him is Norm Elson. Oh, I'm sorry. Norm Eisen. E-I-S-E-N. Norm Eisen, who was one of the lead engineers of impeachment lawfare and classified weaponization against Trump, directly linked to transnational NGOs involved in regime change tactics. No wonder they didn't want Mr. T to come into power. They were all going to be charged for treason, okay? These are all his enemies, guys, okay? Another one is Mark Zaid. Zaid. Z as in zebra, A-I-D. Mark Zaid, for those that are taking notes. The impeachment lawyer who publicly tweeted calls for a coup and funneled intelligence leaks through planted whistleblowers. After him comes Lisa Monaco. Who is Lisa Monaco? She was Obama's DOJ insider turned Brandon's deputy AG. She oversaw domestic surveillance of Trump supporters, pushed unconstitutional January 6 prosecutions, and helped protect the island-linked networks within the federal system. Shame on you, Lisa Monaco. And that's the reason why Gitmo is getting bigger. And I'll get to that point in a bit. These individuals are not merely bureaucrats. They are part of a coordinated foreign influence infiltration effort aimed at collapsing the republic from within while maintaining the illusion of democracy. All right. Behind closed doors, multiple sealed indictments have already been signed by Mr. T. Trump is not playing defense anymore, guys. Right? This is now a search and destroy mission against the deep state infrastructure, right? And so what comes next will shake the world, okay? And this is what the media won't say. The same individuals who just lost their clearances are also implicated in darker operations that the public has not been fully exposed to yet, right? Like, for those that are taking notes, covert funding of MKUltra successor programs under behavioral research cover, right? For those that didn't know, MKUltra, Project Monarch, these are all high-level counterintelligence CIA operations designed to involve what is known as mind control, okay? So LSD, all of that was part of the MKUltra that was conducted by the CIA, along with Project Monarch, which, again, it began with the Nazis, and then through Project Paperclip, when those Nazis transferred over to the States, when they covertly took over the government of the United States, they became the neocon shadow government. They continue these projects in secret, and that explains all of those people that have been under mind control for many, many years, okay? So another thing that's going to be exposed is the coordination with private intelligence mercenaries used to surveil Trump insiders pre-2020. Direct links between Letitia James and laundering networks tied to offshore Little One exploitation, blackmail systems. Little One, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Little ones. Classified intercepts revealing Zaid's ties to NGOs operating under the UN umbrella, conducting data harvesting on political dissidents. These are not theories, guys. These are known facts inside secure circles. And now that the clearance revocations are in motion, the next step is public exposure and judicial reckoning. It's coming, guys. Disclosure is coming. I could feel it. I could taste it, right? With Donald Trump's official return to power, his administration wasted no time putting its plans into motion. And that means the expansion of Guantanamo Bay, right? Guantanamo Bay, Gitmo, is happening, right? Well, reports confirming that construction crews, military engineers, and advanced tech specialists are working around the clock to complete the facility's transformation into the world's most secure detention and interrogation hub. And so the timing couldn't be more critical, right? The White Hat military task forces are already carrying out unprecedented global raids, snatching key players from the cabal's networks and dismantling operations in real time. This is the purge of corruption that patriots have been waiting for. And the details emerging from this monumental crackdown are nothing short of explosive. Okay, so let's talk about Gitmo's expansion. The upgraded Gitmo facility is rapidly becoming the epicenter of the fight against the cabal. Leaked schematics reveal the addition of 12 new detention blocks, okay, built to house high-value prisoners indefinitely. These new structures are equipped with cutting-edge biometric locks, quantum surveillance systems, and interrogation rooms unlike anything the public has ever seen. Sources close to the Department of Defense confirmed that Gitmo now has behavioral modification chambers. Well, that's an interesting one, right? Behavioral modification chambers. Okay, well, if they're not going to do away with these deep staters, they're probably going to modify their behavior so they can stop being psycho. That's what that means, right? Equipped with AI-driven technologies designed to see, that's one thing I don't like about the White Hats, is that they do use AI, okay? I don't agree with AI, but I just hope this does not go sour in the end, okay? Setting the stage forth for the Antichrist and the rise of super AI and all that stuff. But anyways, again, it's not going to happen in the positive timeline, guys, right? There are going to be 3 timelines, right? Everything's going to collapse into 3 timelines. A positive timeline where there is no AI, where it's a true golden age, a negative timeline, a technocratic dystopia, and a in-between timeline, okay? Let me continue here. So, the sources close to the Department of Defense confirmed that Gitmo now has behavioral modification chambers equipped with AI-driven technologies designed to extract information from even the most defiant detainees. My bad. These rooms can reportedly identify lies in real time, detect stress signals at a cellular level, and use targeted frequencies to neutralize deception tactics. Well, this technology isn't new. This is the type of technology that the breakaway groups, these SSP programs, have actually been using in these off-world operations, okay? So just to make it clear, Galactic Jedis, this is not new technology. Like I said, Space Force is going to be the front organization of Solar Warden when they begin to introduce the Terrans of the Earth, the advanced interplanetary and stellar technologies, which is going to be very, very soon, following all of these leaks, right? All of this classified information is about to take the world by storm. Massive arrests already underway, and they have been, right? Since Trump's return military tasks, forces have ramped up their operations in the U.S. and beyond. Early this morning, reports surfaced of simultaneous raids in Switzerland, the United Arab Emirates, and offshore Caribbean facilities, all known safe havens for cabal operatives. Unmarked aircraft, disguised naval ships, and specialized black op teams have been deployed to ensure secrecy and precision. The targets are the bankers, the globalist CEOs, and the political puppets who, by the way, were all being run by negative alien invasive AI. One of the things that I did reveal when I came into the limelight a few years ago is that most of these actors that we see as clones, or whatever you want to call them, they are actually controlled by negative AI, because at the highest level of this evil, we are fighting negative invasive AI, okay, predatory alien AI. And there are different types of alien AIs that are collaborating to make sure that a lot of people end up in the technocratic dystopian timeline. But again, due to the fact that there's a lot of light warriors that volunteered, you and me, we're also creating the positive timeline. So this is where there's going to be eventually a bifurcation of those two different realities, you could say, okay? So the targets are the bankers, the global CEOs, and political puppets who have manipulated the markets, funded all the wars, and of course, traded humans as slaves, okay, among the shocking arrest. All right, so a top media mogul in New York City, believed to have direct ties to coordinated disinformation campaigns against Trump. He's actually going to be arrested very, very soon. A pharmaceutical tycoon in Zurich, accused of engineering global you guys know what I'm talking about, demics, okay, for profit and control, okay? He's on the list to get arrested. And another one is a European royal family member, I wonder who, allegedly linked to the elite human transferring, right? Transferring, when they sell humans as slaves, rings operating across the European Union. I wonder if that's Charles. Okay? They didn't give me any names, but this is what the report states, okay? Each arrest brings forth troves of evidence and military intelligence teams that are going to be working tirelessly to connect the dots and unravel the full extent of these operations. Gitmo's rapidly expanding database now holds classified evidence from these raids. One second here. If you guys give me a second. Oh, okay. Hi, Athena. How you doing? Welcome to the live, Athena. Just don't steal the show, because it seems like every time you come, all the attention goes on you. Okay, so check this out, guys, okay? As I was saying, so massive arrests have already been underway. They're targeting the top media mogul in New York, a pharmaceutical tycoon in Zurich, a European royal family member, and each arrest will bring forth troves of evidence and military intelligence teams that are working tirelessly to connect the dots and unravel the full extent of these operations. Gitmo's rapidly expanding database now holds classified evidence from the raids, and the picture it paints is horrifying. Horrifying, guys. The cabal's reach and depravity are worse than anyone could have imagined, okay? Because this is what they discovered in these classified, or these documents. Ready? Human experimentation labs, okay? If you guys think science fiction is science fiction, guess again, okay? Dr. Frankenstein, chimeras, hybrids, advanced alien technology. Guys, right? This is all going to be part of the disclosure, okay? Human experimentation labs, newly uncovered locations in Eastern Europe reveal underground laboratories where human subjects, many of them little ones, my heart goes out to them, were used in genetic and WEAPON experiments. Very similar to what, again, the Nazis were doing to the Jews in the 1930s. But they were doing this to little ones, okay? They were used in genetic and you know what I mean, experiments, all right? Whatever you want to call them. I don't want to say that word. These labs were funded by a coalition of elites and major corporations. Wow. Thank God for the red hats, right? The red hats show no mercy, right? Especially when it comes to the little ones. I think for those that were involved in torturing and all this stuff, they don't deserve tribunals. They deserve the penalty, if you guys know what I mean. All right. Another thing that they discovered was hidden fortresses beneath Antarctica. All right. Antarctica has been a huge, huge source of mystery for both the shadow government and the alliance. Okay. Evidence from detainee interrogations has exposed secret underground cities in Antarctica, allegedly housing stockpiles of WEAPONS, stolen gold reserves, and ancient artifacts. Military operatives are already planned, or have already planned, to target strikes to neutralize these hidden compounds. Okay. Another thing that they discovered was a mass media collusion document. Documents seized in the recent raids reveal an even deeper connection between big tech, mainstream media, and intelligent organizations. Let's just call them that, okay? Weekly meetings between media executives and global think tanks have been exposed, confirming their coordinated efforts to manipulate public opinion. The elite's financial blackmail list includes thousands of encrypted files that have been recovered detailing how the cabal has blackmailed government officials, judges, and military leaders worldwide to secure loyalty and silence dissent. Please don't blink on me now, lights. Please don't blink on me. I need the light. Or is it that my mother is here visiting? And if you are, Mom, thank you for being here. Gitmo's expanded facilities are already being used for preliminary military tribunals, which began in secret already this week. Okay, this week, the preliminary military tribunals have already began in secret. Now, it's just a matter of time before they open it up to the general public. Okay, so early reports suggest that the trials are being conducted with an efficiency that reflects the seriousness of the crimes involved. Leaked transcripts from one tribunal reveal horrifying testimony about a multi-billion-dollar human transferring operation, right, with direct ties to tech billionaires and entertainment moguls. The scale of these trials is unmatched, guys, in modern history. My God, so much evil that they are uncovering. Like I said, some of this information, when they have the open EBS, and it's, again, Elon Musk is in the process of buying CNN, Fox News, and all the major medias which are going to expose all of this. There are going to be a small portion, hopefully not too much of a large portion, of people in this world that are not going to want to accept this information, okay? Due to cognitive dissonance, due to heavy programming, they will not accept the information, okay? But we're still going to have a great awakening. We're still going to have a great awakening. Right, Athena? Yes, we are. Okay, so the scale of these trials is unmatched in modern history. Entire sections of Gitmo have been allocated for housing legal teams, secured courtrooms, and evidence storage facilities. Military judges are working in shifts to ensure that no case is delayed. Wow. Well, apparently the globalists are trying to push back, but to no avail. To no avail. The cabal isn't going down without a fight, okay? Reports indicate that several assassination attempts on key military officials and whistleblowers have already been thwarted. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this live, there was an attempt by 3 ex-CIA agents to pretty much adult nap Mr. T, all right? They were trying to send him off somewhere, and you know, and he was going to be announced as he disappeared. Something happened to him. But, of course, the White Hats were able to stop that from happening, okay? In one dramatic incident last week, a car bomb targeting a high-ranking intelligence officer was intercepted just minutes before the detonation, okay? So this is a serious war between the cabal and the alliance, guys. That is taking place from behind the scenes. Moreover, there are growing concerns about cyber attacks on U.S. infrastructure, believed to be retaliation from cabal operatives still at large. Trump's administration has responded with heightened cyber defense measures and a directive for military units to operate under wartime protocols. So while Trump supporters celebrate these developments as the ultimate reckoning, mainstream media outlets and globalist aligned governments are scrambling to control the narrative. Well, predictably, they're attempting to paint Trump's Gitmo expansion as human rights abuses and overreach. But their influence is waning, right? The cabal's influence is waning. Whistleblowers, insiders, and even former cabal operatives are stepping forward in droves, bringing evidence that aligns with the administration's claims. Social media platforms are buzzing with leaked footage of Gitmo's new facilities arrest, and even snippets from early tribunal proceedings. The tide is turning and the truth is becoming impossible to suppress. So, what comes next, right? Well, with Gitmo set to be fully operational by mid-2025, that would be what? Sometime in June. The scale of this operation is expected to grow exponentially. Military insiders suggest that thousands of new detainees are already being tracked and more high-profile arrests are imminent. Trump's mission is clear. Trump's mission is clear. Expose the elites, dismantle their networks, and ensure that humanity is freed from their grip. With every raid, every tribunal, and every new piece of evidence, the cabal's stronghold weakens. The world is on the brink of a new era, one where the shadows that have governed for centuries are finally eradicated. And this is prophecy. This isn't just a fight for justice, guys. This is a fight for the soul of humanity, okay? Trump's 2025 Gitmo expansion and the massive military operation surrounding it mark a decisive moment in history. The time of the global elites is over, and the reckoning has only just began. The reckoning has only just began. I hope you guys are doing well. Should I put my glasses on really quick? I don't know where I put my glasses. Where are my glasses? Oh, here they are. Again, this is an award that I dedicate to each and every single one of you. I won this award at the Conscious Life Expo because of you guys that voted for my book, Our Cosmic Origin, Next Level Disclosure, my biggest contribution to humanity. And there is more to come, more knowledge to come as I continue writing another book. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about, before I talk a little bit about what defines a golden age, right, due to the Gesera implementation, I do want to welcome, yes, I did remove that bot from earlier. I do want to welcome Matt Briss is in the house, Lee Star, Project Skyfalls, Cosmic Zeal, Baby Blue Notes, Kathy Kerb, William Ryan is in the house, Aaron H, Andromeda Daisy, Joanna, Tino Patricio, who else is in the house? All 2,553 freedom fighters that are in the house. Thank you guys so much for being in here. Now, let's talk about what defines a golden age, okay? Let's talk about what defines a golden age. Athena, get out of the trash. There's nothing in the trash there for you. If you're hungry, wait for me to give you more food. But I did fill up your bowl early this morning. You need more food? Stay out of the trash, Athena. All right, let's see. One second. Okay, here it is. All right, guys. Where's my... Yeah, stay out of the trash. There's nothing in there for you, girl. All right, sit behind me. Sit behind me. You can't lick my arms today because I'm wearing long sleeves. So no salt for you today. All right, so as you guys know, we are at the precipice of a golden age, okay? The golden age, many believe, is scheduled to come sometime during, during our life, okay? Way before 2027 or 2028, because that's when this current reality construct comes to an age. And some sources believe that this March, at the end of this March, or what they call the solstice, not the solstice, the spring equinox, 21st of March, the ending of the age of Pisces and the beginning of the age of Aquarius begins, okay? Some people believe that's going to be happening. Well, we're going to see. That could be coinciding also with the grand solar flash. But as humanity stands at the precipice of a new era, one of boundless prosperity, peace, and enlightenment, this long prophesied golden age is being ushered in through the implementation of the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, NESARA, and the global counterpart, the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, GESARA. These revolutionary financial and governance systems operating through the quantum financial system, if you guys don't know how that operates, I would advise to watch my live from 2 nights ago, promises to eradicate poverty, eliminate debt, and restore individual sovereignty through the infusion of higher technologies of light and the dissolution of the structures of scarcity and control. Humanity will finally ascend into a utopian society free of lack, competition, and limitation. Okay, so the foundation of NESARA and GESARA. NESARA was originally designed as an economic reform proposed to the United States, intended to free citizens from the financial slavery imposed by central banking and corrupt monetary policies. However, the principles were later expanded to a global level through GESARA, forming a worldwide initiative aimed at liberating all nations from economic tyranny. Among its promises are the forgiveness of all debt, the abolishment, the elimination of the income tax, which is what Mr. T already signed, right? Getting rid of the 16th of the federal income tax, and eventually the 16th Amendment, because it was, illegally ratified, right? It was never approved by Congress. And a return to a sound money backed by precious metals, and a dramatic increase in financial security for all individuals. All right, part of this, the quantum financial system is that, okay? So at the heart of NESARA GESARA lies the quantum financial system, aka QFS, which is a breakthrough technology designed to replace the antiquated and corrupt fiat banking system. And again, for those that didn't know, the quantum financial system was a gift to the White Hats from the Galactic Alliance, okay? So, unlike traditional economic models that thrive on debt and scarcity, the quantum financial system operates on transparency, integrity, and quantum computing. Quantum computing capabilities that ensure fair and equitable wealth distribution. Through this system, the financial needs of every human, even the least among us, even the homeless person on the street, will be met, okay? Creating a society where abundance flows freely and the artificial structures of lack are dismantled. The QFS eliminates fraud, centralized control, and financial manipulation, placing economic sovereignty back into the hands of the people. So, a quick introduction to higher technologies, and this is a report that's actually coming from Commander Valiant Thor. So, I forgot to mention, thank you, Commander Valiant Thor. He wanted me to share this with you guys tonight. With financial freedom comes the rapid acceleration of human progress, led by the introduction of higher technologies of light. Notice that I mentioned higher technologies of light, okay? This has nothing to do with AI. These are living organic systems, right? These are living organic technologies that many non-terrestrials of a type 1 and type 2 level civilizations have used across the universe. So these advancements, many of which have been suppressed by ruling elites, will revolutionize everything: energy, transportation, communication, you name it, healthcare, you name it, okay? Technologies such as, again, you guys, there's a lot of new people that are still asking me what are med beds, so that's why I'm giving you guys this report really quick, such as med beds, right? Quantum healing devices, holographic regenerators, free energy generators, and advanced anti-gravity transportation, which will become available to everyone, eradicating disease, extending lifespans, and reducing environmental destruction. In this new society, which was prophesied to be the 7th golden age of enlightenment, as stated in my book, Our Cosmic Origin, that's where we're heading. In this new society, there will be no war, there will be no more pollution, and no more corporate monopolies anymore, okay? They will be outdated, in other words, paving the way for planetary restoration and harmony. So with this comes the end of scarcity, the end of competition, the end of ego. For those that go into the positive ascending timeline, there will be no ego. And of course, the end of lack, all right? The end of lack. So in the current paradigm, scarcity is artificially imposed by maintaining control over the masses. The competition-driven economic model forces individuals into cycles of stress, survival, and separation, right? However, with the full implementation of Nicera and Gesera, these limiting structures will dissolve. With unlimited access to resources, education, and wellness, the need for competition is diminished, replaced by a collaborative society that thrives on creativity, innovation, and most importantly, unity consciousness. That's probably going to be the base of a golden age. Unity consciousness, Christ consciousness. Work will no longer be a means of mere survival, right? But an expression of individual purpose and passion. Therefore, in the new age, or in this new world of Aquarius that we're about to step into very, very soon, you will no longer need a 9 to 5 anymore. You will be receiving your abundance by the mere virtues of your talents and your passion of what it is that you like to do. That's going to be your contribution to the greater whole, okay? So that's where everybody's abundance is coming. It is where your talents are, what you like to do best when you're not getting paid, right? I am an educator. I love educating people. I love reading. I love researching. I love meditating, and I love teaching others how to do so. So I'm going to be an educator in the golden age, okay? The shift in values also align, the shifts in values aligns with ancient and modern New Age philosophies that emphasize interconnectedness, divine abundance, and the elevation of human potential, right? This is going to be a society where instead of suppressing the hidden latent talents within children, we are going to cultivate them, right? For example, a lot of these advanced, positive extraterrestrial civilizations, those that are existing throughout the cosmos and those that exist within our oceans and within our planet, they don't have classrooms of 30 to 40 students and one teacher. They don't do that. It's the other way around. Each child has anywhere from 4 to 6 mentors to make sure that that child is capable of reaching its full potential, okay? That is how the new educational system will be, all right? Okay, well, let's continue here. So as material burdens are lifted, humanity will naturally shift towards higher states of consciousness. Free from financial oppression, people will have the opportunity to explore their spiritual nature. Therefore, there will be more time for leisure, meditation, and rediscovering ancient wisdom. And align, of course, everyone's going to have the opportunity to align with their divine purpose, okay? This transition is in accordance with many esoteric teachings that have predicted the rise of a new enlightened civilization. Ascended masters, galactic councils, and light beings have long spoken of a prophesied era where the vibrational frequency of the earth would elevate, allowing humanity to evolve into a higher dimensional society, right? Well, Nicera and Gesera are going to act as the catalyst for this transformation, creating, the conditions necessary for a planetary awakening. I really need some water. Come on, telekinesis, kick in. I can't concentrate. I need to concentrate. It's hard to concentrate when I'm on the live. Anyways, okay. The water will come. Water will come to me. Nicera and Gesera mark the beginning of an unprecedented age of enlightenment where prosperity and peace will prevail, okay? So by replacing corrupt financial systems with the quantum financial system, including introducing also higher technologies of light and eliminating artificial scarcity, these initiatives will birth a world where every individual has the freedom to thrive. As humanity collectively ascends into the golden age, the barriers that once separated nations, classes, and ideologies will dissolve, giving rise to a unified planetary civilization rooted in love, harmony, and divine abundance. Okay? The era of lack and limitation is ending, ushering in a time where the full potential of every human being can finally be realized, Now, if you guys could excuse me, I do have to get up and go grab me some water because my telekinesis abilities are not functioning at this time. 1 second. Okay, I am back. You guys are probably wondering, or probably have some questions for me. Lay them on me, guys. Lay them on me. Let's see. Project Skyfall's free living. That's right. The more homelessness or homeless veterans danger. Oh wait, whoa! This is going way too fast. I do have a super chat. I guess I should address that first. Thank you, Elizabeth Hutchinson. For the past couple of years, I've been seeing shadows, movement, outlines out of my peripheral, as well as flashes of light. But when I focus on the movement, etc., nothing is there. Is this because the veil is thinning? Yeah, that means that you are seeing beyond the 3D, right? You're stepping, or you're actually accessing other realms and other dimensions. And that is normal, Elizabeth. That is normal. Very normal. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for the super chat, sister. Hi, Mr. Perez. You don't have to call me Mr. Perez. You could just call me Ishmael. I'm nobody special. Let's see. I do have a question. Hi, Mr. Perez. Where is that question? What will happen to the thousands of people in prison? Will they get help? So many don't belong there. This is a good question. Okay, this is a question from Tree. Okay, Tree. Oh, what happened? I'm back. Sorry, I was booted out of my live, but luckily I was able to come back. So a question from Tree. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the advanced extraterrestrial technologies that was gifted to us by the Galactics is the ability to to rewire the brain of criminals so that they could become nice and become good people. Okay, so a lot of those prisoners that are, or people that are in jail, they're going to be reformed through these technologies, right? Where they're going to be rewired in order for them to become good people. So that's what's going to be happening to these people. We're going to have the technology now to change bad people into good people. And that was another gift to us from the Galactics, okay? Because it is really not their fault. A lot of the people that are out there doing bad things, a lot of it is programming. A lot of it is, they grew up, with the wrong environment. They were born into it, all right? Think about it. So, there are going to be technologies that are going to undo that so that they can become good people. Seattle Cat 323, welcome. Is the story of Jesus' death and resurrection true? Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. He was really crucified and he really resurrected, right? there are a lot of falsifications regarding that Jesus wasn't crucified, but he was crucified, and there's a lot of evidence that support that. Okay. And yes, he did resurrect. He did resurrect. He demonstrated the resurrection, by the way. Well, yes, this will only work if their soul accepts this. Well, you know, technically, every being is born good. Every human is born good, okay? So, of course, their soul is going to accept the mental reformation in order to undo their psychosis so they can become better people. Thank you, Pauline, for that super chat. Thank you, thank you. I see some people here that are disagreeing with the crucifixion and are saying that Jesus was never crucified and he did not die for our sins. Again, guys, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I do believe that he did exist, and I do believe that he was crucified, and I do believe that he did resurrect. That's my opinion. You guys are entitled to your own opinions. Yes. Yes, I heard that when we are passing through the photon belt, it's like purifying our blood. That is also true. That is also true. This is a question posed by Cheryl Shoemaker. Oh, Maria Andrea Corcura, welcome. And thank you for that super chat. She says, I love your open and clear info. You are so generous. I love you. Well, thank you, sister. I appreciate your kind words, and I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Team Inspire, thank you so much for that super chat. Will first waivers activate their superpowers and ascend simultaneously? End of March or April 2025? That could be a huge possibility due to the fact that we are going to reach what is known as solar maximum peak, where the most potent CME, comparable to the Carrington event of 1771 that took out the telegraph, no, I'm sorry, not comparable, 10 times more powerful than the CME that took place in 1871. There is a big chance that that could happen. Yes, I do believe so. And then your second part of the question is when first waivers ascend, will people in 3D still be able to see them? That's only up to them. Once you ascend, you'll be able to materialize back into 3D, but you are going to have ascended abilities. So you're going to have superpowers, right? You're going to be exactly what Jesus told his apostles, that you will even do greater things in me, right? You're going to have even more abilities in me. So you are definitely going to be able to materialize in the 3D as well when you ascend, but with amazing abilities. Good question. Luna Del Tuna says, pretty please wear short sleeve next time. Well, it's kind of cold today. I don't know. Why would you want me to wear short sleeve? What's wrong with covering my arms? Oh, this is a good one because we are expecting a blood moon. Hope is real. I'll get to your question, your super chat, in just 1 second. Where is that? Ishmael, what do you think is going to happen on the Blue Moon this weekend? This is a question from Karen Ron. I am not sure, guys. I am not sure. I don't have a crystal ball to see what's going to happen. But if you guys are doing the spiritual work, if you guys are living in the moment, you guys can actually harness those energies. Okay. Now, it has been prophesied that this is the last this is going to be the last blood moon. Okay. Before the ending of the cycle, what they call the end of time, the end of days, in the beginning of a new era. So this is the last moon that is going to be the indicator that we are living in the end days. And so, yeah, it's best to be prepared. And I do have a super chat from Hope is Real. How you doing, sister? Hope is Real. She says, I was shown crucified along other people who were crucified too, but what I saw was his light body ascend. His remains are hidden in what it looks like a cave. Access is protected by specific frequency. I think you could be right. I think that is correct. Hope is Real. That is correct. So basically, after the resurrection, Jesus did appear in his light body form. That's why he was less dense. If you think about how even when they touched him, he was less dense, right? But he did have the marks of the crucifixion. So yes, he did demonstrate ascension. So that's why I believe that he was crucified, because then he ascended and he took his body with him, right? Because what is ascension? Ascension is the integration of spirit and matter, Thank you for sharing that. Hope is Real. And thank you for the super chat. No, this is where I don't believe in religious indoctrination. No, I don't think we were born in sin. That was all part of organized religion. But there is a difference between thinking that Jesus died for our sins, because I don't think he died for our sins. I believe that he died in order to fulfill his 7 bestowal mission so that he could become full sovereign of his universe, full control of his universe. All right? So everything happens for a reason. So no, we weren't born in sin. That is a religious indoctrination. We were born pure. In fact, we were born pure, and through the educational system and the religious indoctrination, we became corrupt. It's actually the other way around, okay? It's the other way around. JD is in the house. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Ishmael, if we change the Rothschild banking system down here on Earth, how would that affect the off-world cabal groups? Does Darkfleet still rely on money system? Oh, this is a good question. Finally, somebody asked me a question that is a little different and a little deeper here. This is a good question. Okay, so Jay is asking me, Ishmael, if we change the Rothschild banking system down here on Earth, how will that affect the off-world cabal groups? You're talking about the Dark Fleet and the Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate, which are the off-world cabal groups. Okay, well, in the last few years, the off-world cabal groups, those that were part of the Dark Fleet and the Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate, have been arrested by the Galactic Alliance. They are no longer in operation. So it's not going to affect anything off-world. They have been dealt with. The only people that were still left to be dealt with are the people here in the surface world, okay? Very good question. Does the Dark Fleet still rely on money systems? No. No, the Dark Fleet, they don't rely on money systems. They actually use other things for trade and for commerce and for resources. And one of the main things that the Dark Fleet was using to build their empire throughout our galaxy and our universe, the Dark Fleet actually had established bases even in other galaxies beyond our own, unfortunately, is that they were trading human genetics. Because human genetics is the highest, most valuable commodity across the multiverse. So, yeah, that's even more valuable than gold, our genetics. up there. So the Dark Fleet were actually making their money and their riches not only by conquering worlds in the name of the Nazis, giving us a bad impression here on Earth. And that explains why a lot of those planets and other worlds in our galaxy and other galaxies have a bad name for us, because they all generalize is based on what the Dark Fleet has been doing in the last 85 years. They all think we're all Nazis, but no, that's just a portion of the Earthlings that went off into space and colonized and conquered other worlds. But yeah, they were using human genetics as a commodity to build their empire, okay? To build their empire. But the good news is that recently, within the last year and a half, the super soldiers of the positive secret space program, those that are working with Solar Warden and Radiant Glory, not Guardians, Radiant Glory, Solar Warden. Radiant Guardians is off, it's working in other universes. Radiant Glory and Radiant and Solar Warden are the ones that are working within our galaxy and our universe. They recently have also dealt with the Dark Fleet that had established themselves throughout the universe, okay? So they did bring them down. They did liberate all those worlds that were conquered by the Dark Fleet in the last 85 years. So by James Rink said to say hi. Oh, okay. Well, tell James Rink I'm going to see him at the Biomed Alien event in a few weeks. I think we're both going to be speaking on the Super Soldier panel, so that's going to be awesome. All right, let's continue here. Political viewer, thank you so much for your donation. Yes, XRP, okay, out of all the digital currencies, the only ones that are going to be remaining, I just want to clarify this because I did read the comments from the last live. Everything's going to fall except XRP and XLM and this other one. And that's because they're supported by precious metals, okay? Wolf Mother, thank you so much for the super chat. So were the fire set in Long Island, in New York, to cover up the Montauk project still being conducted in Brookhaven National Labs? That was one of the reasons. That was one of the reasons, yes. But again, the whole purpose of causing these fires is to ultimately build smart cities, okay? But yeah, that was one of the reasons they were trying to cover up the massive research that has been going on there regarding the Montauk project. For those that don't know what Montauk Project is, that is a shadow government, highly classified experiment regarding time travel that was conducted in the late 50s by the CIA. This is a good question from Adele369. Ishmael, what effects of the solar flares will happen on the negative beings? They are going to be, what's the best word to say it? As we emerge fully in the photon belt, those that are vibrating with low frequencies that are still service to self are going to be destroyed. They're going to be burned alive. That's what's going to happen to them. So yes, they will be disappearing from our timeline. Joy Sabedo is asking me if we're still going to continue paying our credit cards and other debt like mortgage. Thank you for all you do. Oh, you're welcome. No, that's part of the old paradigm, the old program of slavery. That's all going to come to an end. What is the Carrington event? A good question, Kathy Young. Well, the Carrington event was a CME blast that actually took out the grid or the telegram back in 1871. So many scientists are predicting that what's going to be happening at the end of March, beginning of April, as we reach the, what is it called, solar maximum sunspot cycle, is that we're probably going to have a 10 times worse CME that could potentially knock out our grid. But at the same time, metaphysically speaking, that has the potential to activate dormant DNA, which is going to trigger the first waivers of ascension. So that is what they call a Carrington event. It is a powerful CME blast that has the capacity to neutralize the grid, right? That's what they call 10 days of darkness, 3 days of darkness if it happens. 3 days of darkness, not 10 days, right? It neutralizes the grid, right? And then we go into a new age, right? As a new grid begins to activate. Yes, that's right. The people that are wicked, when the solar flash takes place, are going to be vaporized. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Aaron H., for that reminder. People are going to be, the negative, the wicked are going to be vaporized. Right, like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's right. Well, if you read my book, Our Cosmic Origin, The Real History of the Earth, Sodom and Gomorrah were actually nuked by plutonium bombs that were used by the good Anunnaki to destroy the stargates and the spaceports that were being used by the negative Anunnaki to bring in more reptilians into our world. So that was a war between the two Anunnaki factions. So a lot of the Old Testament stories are a consolidation of the war between the two Anunnaki factions. Please define wicked. Case in point, all of the deep staters, all of those people that were involved in hurting others, little ones, cheating others, lying, murdering, stealing, service to self, narcissist. I mean, the list goes on. How else can we define wicked? Necromancers, sorcerers, black magicians, wicked. That's how you define wicked. Yeah, that's right. Those that are against God. Best way to describe it. Those that, okay, this is the best way to define wicked. Are you guys ready? Those that don't live according to the laws of God, which is the laws of unity consciousness. Ishmael, will President Trump introduce us to Valiant Thor? Well, I was informed months ago, and I did talk about it in one of my lives, that one of the first non-terrestrials that we're going to be introduced to is Commander Valiant Thor. Thank you, Diana Molina. Should we not pay taxes for 2024? I can't give you advice on that, guys. I can't give you advice on that, but all I know is that the White are in a process of eliminating and abolishing the 16th Amendment. If you go, just type in what the 16th Amendment is. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm not going to give you any advice about that right now. Hope is real. Thank you for the super chat. She says, irrefutable fatigue, dizzy, thirsty, went to the ER, got an IV fluid. These energies require more grounding, hydration. Yeah, they totally knocked me out yesterday. I took 2 naps in one day. I was completely lethargic. I've never felt as lethargic as I did yesterday. I couldn't get work done. I couldn't do anything. My body was out. So yeah, these symptoms could range from all kinds of stuff. But you had to go to the emergency room and get an IV because you were dehydrated, right? So some people just have to drink more water. So it's hitting everybody differently, okay? It's hitting everybody differently. Well, the 16th Amendment is income tax, but I'm talking about the entire three-letter agency that starts with an I. That's also in the process of being eliminated. Ishmael, do you believe that the cabal has some machines that are holding the matrix? That have some machine grids which are holding the matrix? No. They have been stripped from all of their advanced technology, so I wouldn't worry about that. Ishmael, is the Shroud of Turin real? Yes, it is. And throughout history, the good secret societies like the Knights Templars were the protectors of that. King Jeffrey Lambert, thank you so much for being here. Oh, this is a good question from Leslie Cunlife. She says, where will the healed children return to and who? You must be referring to the children that were rescued from the underground tunnels. Well, they were immediately given med beds, and they have been rehabilitated. They had to undergo a lot of therapy because these children were traumatized. So I believe that I don't know where they're going to be going to. Perhaps back to their parents. Who knows? I don't have that intel, but that's a very good question. But the good news is that a lot of the little ones were rescued. Can healed kids be adopted? Yeah, sure, why not, Sandy? Why not? I hope that some of you guys adopt some of these kids and give them the best life ever. Yes, I did hear that a lot of these teachers in the educational system are also going to be removed because a lot of them aren't really doing it for the passion of teaching. They're just doing it for the summer vacation and the money. Thank you so much, Ishmael, for giving us your time. It's also informative. You are welcome. You are welcome. Ishmael, what are the 10 commandments? The 10 commandments are, the first one is, thou shalt love God with all your honor, I believe. I don't know by heart. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not.
And you get the chance to see how tall Mariana really is. I mean, it's all going to be there. So, God. You know.
And make sure you stay in contact with us on YouTube. Dr. Brett Watson. We'll have Dr. Manuel on this next week. We'll have Bo on this next week. It's going to be glorious. So make sure you stay in touch. Thank you, Dr. Manuel.
No problem. All right, I'm going to finish up with the saints here that released that word. You got to have a plan. Great time with your family. We love you, Dr. Brett.
Love you guys.
Saints, I'll tell you something. You know, that was such a good thing, you know, and I'm looking forward to that time in Atlanta, you know. So glory to God for that. It saints, this is important. You and I, we have a mandate. That mandate is that you and I do what? Stay close to the Lord. Stay close to the Lord. Stay close to the Lord. It is very important that you and I, okay? You got to keep putting it up there. So that said it. Surprise, surprise, surprise. That's right. between now and 10 days. It can happen before 10 days or it can happen after 10 days. I don't know. But God's word will not come back void. And glory to God. And for those of you that have made birthdays, happy birthday to you. May the Lord, and I want you to know, but saints, it's important. So God gave me the word to release to you. I'm going to release to you right now. And this is so cool. Lord, I just thank you, and I receive it for myself. Put it on there. Okay, put it on. Wow, 3rd to the 12th. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? The 3rd to the 12th? Praise the Lord. Psalm 73. Excuse me, 73. Wow. Surely God is good to Israel, to those who are pure in heart. But as for me, my feet had almost slipped. I had nearly lost my foothold, for I envied the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. They had no struggles. Their bodies are healthy and strong. They are free from common human burdens. They're not plagued by human ills. Therefore pride is their necklace. They're clothed themselves with violence. Wow. From their careless hearts comes iniquity. Their evil imaginations have no limits. They scoff and speak with malice. With arrogance, they threaten oppression. The psalmist goes on. Their mouths lay claim to heaven, and their tongues take possession of the earth. Therefore their people turn to them and drink up water in abundance. They said, how would God know? Does the Most High know anything? That's an arrogant statement. They go on to say, what the wicked are like, always free of care. They go on amassing wealth. Surely in vain. Now see, this is the psalmist. He's getting weary. Surely in vain I have kept my heart pure. That's not true. We do not do anything for God in vain. And have washed my hands in innocence. All day long I have been afflicted, and every morning brings new punishments. What else? If I had spoken out like that, I would have betrayed your children. When I tried to understand all of this, it troubled me deeply. The psalmist said, he started thinking about all the prosperity of the wicked, and it doesn't seem like nothing happens to them. And so he's going on his own understanding. He says, when I think about all this, it troubled him deeply. Number 17 is the change. Number 17 is where we see the change. He says, till I entered the sanctuary of God. Then I understood their final destiny. Whoa! You cast them down to ruin. Surely you placed them on slippery ground. Now, I've heard that before from the Lord. How suddenly are they destroyed, completely swept away by terrors. They are like a dream when one awakes. When you arise, Lord, you will disperse them as a fantasy. The Lord says the wicked is on slippery ground. The righteous is on solid ground. What is that? That's the rock. The rock. Glory to God. This is so important. Saints, I'm telling you, we're hearing testimonies. Testimonies. You gotta send in those prayer requests. Do you understand the importance? Not a one of those prayer requests that we get is denied. We take it. We receive it. We believe God for your miracles. We believe God for your breakthroughs. We believe God. And I cannot tell you the importance of you and I. Do not neglect the word of God. Don't neglect it, saints. The word, don't neglect the word. We must continue to seek him. Do you know that's important? You saints, the importance. The word builds up your